Hey, happy. I just got an extra hour of sleep, but it doesn't feel like it day. It's been a while since I checked in from the park. Wanted to follow up on my post yesterday about phone banking for the first time. It was an experience. It was positive. It was kind of profound for me, actually. There was an experience that I had that I was sort of prepared for, but not completely prepared for. And it hit me in a way that surprisingly, I think is allowing me to do some healing. And just wanted to share a little bit. So the phone banking, you go in and there were 1,000 people in the Zoom, more than ever, and 600 newbies like me. And there's a training, they have a program, there's a script. It's fairly straightforward. It can be a little bit complicated. Mostly, we were leaving messages. Turns out the campaign was for people who they hadn't reached before. It had gone to voicemail and they weren't leaving messages. And this time they decided that it would be a good idea to just leave a message to help people with voting if they needed, or encourage them to vote. It was basic, it was simple, it was nice. And I got mostly voicemails and a couple of wrong numbers. And I didn't really get to have a conversation with anybody, which I guess, to be honest, for me was okay, because I was haven't done it before. And I don't know, I guess I don't want to screw up. But the very last call that I made was a wrong number, and someone who had been called a lot. And I know we're all receiving a lot of texts and phone calls and things right now, and it can be really annoying. And this guy got angry at me and kind of almost yelled, have you considered suicide? Because it would be a really good option for you. And all I did was just say, well, thank you for letting me know this was the wrong number, and I'll be sure to have you removed from the call list. Have a good day. And I hung up, and boy, that one touched deeply for me. My whole fear that I was leaning into in doing this is that I don't have a right to exist, that my existence just hurts people. That's the underlying message that was the root of anorexia for me, which really, in a certain way, was a form of suicide for most of my life, and I didn't know it. I was, not feeling like I had the right to be here. And for the last decade, I've been doing the work to get down to underneath what the source of that is. It was certainly never intended. Nobody intended for me to feel that way. And certainly nobody told me I had to feel that way. I know some people have experienced that. I didn't. But in any case, I've been doing a lot of work. And it turns out this year has been the year when I really was diving into anorexia and the epidemic of eating disorders, and really trying to understand the influences that impacted me in really, really big ways. And it kind of helped me realize that I wasn't crazy, and that it's pretty much of a miracle that I'm still here. The courage that it took to keep standing back up each time I fell down hard, and to keep going. I really got to see that this year, and how courageous and capable I am. And it's a big deal for me this year. And then this phone call came, and that this is tough. These are tough times right now. It's hard, and people are struggling. And mentally, when this person said this to me, I was in a mental state of compassion for this person, for him. And, but my body, man, when I hung up the phone, I went into like shock. I just started crying, and I kind of couldn't stop, for about an hour. And after, a lot of just kind of taking care of myself and sitting with it, and by the end of the day, I also had a really long call with my sister, which was amazing, on her drive home from Pennsylvania, where she did 8 hours of canvassing, and she's out there again today. But after processing it for a while, it felt like this experience kind of helped me to release some of this trauma from my body. It's like I've been doing the mental work, but my body this whole year has been releasing all kinds of trauma in different ways. And this really, really felt like that. And this morning I feel more, I guess, like I have a right to exist. Maybe than I ever have. More compassion and understanding and love for myself. Maybe than I ever have. And I'm sorry that I was annoying for this person. But in the process of being annoying, I'm also getting him off the call list. So he won't be called anymore. And I'm going to get back in the saddle today. And I'm going to make a few more calls. Knowing that people hurt, knowing that we're tired, knowing that we're stressed, knowing that as a country we're really divided, and also understanding that the division that we see out there in the country, in the polls, in the and all of this is a mirror. It's a mirror for the division we have inside. And the division I had inside for me was this part of me that, on the one hand, knows that I'm not a bad person, that I really care, that I'm trying hard, that I'm human, that I'm not perfect, and that's okay. And the other side of me that has just punished me for somehow being responsible for other people's pain, kind of like this, kind of like I was the one who caused that pain, and somehow I deserved what I got back. And the healing work that's happening is that both of those parts of me are inside of me. Those parts of me that feel like somehow it's my fault. Somehow I shouldn't be here. Somehow I should just disappear. Somehow I should just keep quiet. And the part of me that's actually really needs to speak, really needs to speak up, really needs to share, needs to, wants to, gets to express, gets to be here. And as I sit in the park today, after that experience yesterday, that was pretty awful. At the time, I'm realizing that it was a gift. In a very strange way, it was a gift to be challenged in that way, if you will, to see myself with compassion and to see this other person with compassion, and to bring my love to life for myself, and also feel compassion and love for this person for whatever they're going through. So, man, crazy times, and we're sure gonna see which direction we choose here in a couple days. But I wanted to reach out and share my experience, and just share a little love. Whatever you're experiencing right now, whatever the hard parts are, we really can only do this together, people. We really can only do this together. So just send in love your way today, whatever you're experiencing. Hope you can get out into the beauty, balance this hard stuff with nature and the beauty, and see if we can find ways to have compassion for ourselves and for others these next couple days. Okay? Mwah. Bye-bye.